in on the Doom techies, because this is a lane we've seen a ton of before, especially at the start of DPC. Kind of faded away with Doom and techies being first phase bans, but the Cut do get to pick it up again, and this laning combination can crush lanes quite hard.
Skyward breaks his smoke. B-God, oh, he lands the blood grenade. He's got the sticky bomb now. Skyward trying his best to firefly to the low ground, but he is down. Empyrean of all people, the one to take the kill here on the AA. Already a fantastic start here for the Cut.
Yeah, nice little pickup. That does reveal their ward. So instant pings out coming there from Skyward, and he does have a sentry ready. And they will deny it off early here with B-God, so not going to give that gold out. They should still be able to position themselves for 2 bounties here, though, on the side of TiltedBoys. Doesn't look like the Cut can really go in for the steal. But again, you're happy with First Blood, even though it goes to Empyrean. You know what? An AA with early gold, Mike, not the worst thing in the world. More blood grenades, more mangoes, more lane sustain for him to keep spamming his spells out.
Yeah, speaking of like buying more blood grenades, you know the one thing I hate right now, John, is when one lane takes more than one blood grenade and you don't get any. That really upsets me. It happens sometimes in my games. There's just no blood grenades left, and it's like, well, hold on a minute. Why the hell did you buy 3 blood grenades? Well, why is that necessary? Where's mine? It's very upsetting.
True. I don't like someone buying out all 3, but I can get a 2 buy. You know, like 2 for 2 and then 1 for the other support. It's not too bad. And that is what we're seeing here with Skyward so far. Still taking a peek at that mid lane. MTT on the Wind Ranger up against Volobka on the Quap. Yeah, this lane for the Wind Ranger is not the most stable. You're not going to be able to just Wind Run, get free harass. A Quap can dish it back with Scream of Pain and Shadow Strike. Level 1 to 2 is pretty even. Level 3 with a level 2 spell and Volobka is when things start to get a little bit oppressive. And by 4 to 5, the Wind Ranger doesn't feel like it should get too much. Maybe MTD proves this differently. This is not a matchup we see too often on mid, but I do feel like it should favor Volobka, especially as time goes on here.
Can I just say as well, while we are looking at the mid lane, I have always hated this Wind Ranger cosmetic. This one with the cape, it makes me sick. Like, it's just so ugly. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that? It's just so ugly.
I'm with you. It's a weird look. It's like a, I don't know what it's supposed to be, like a like an insect wing.
It's a butterfly.
Like, yeah, like a butterfly insect-y kind of wing, and it's like, yeah, not the biggest fan. Although, to be fair, MTD is doing a great job, so maybe it's distracting enough that Volobka can't focus on his lane. He's just thinking about how ugly it is.
Speaking of focusing on lanes, John, we probably should do the same thing. The top lane, of course, Dora is here with Fuerte on the position 1 Morphling, and they're going to be up against B-God on the techies, and of course Ade, not Lil Nick, but Ade on the Doom in the off lane, and Ade not having the best start in the world, but neither is the Morphling. Pretty even kind of affair at the top lane. So the thing is with Doom, no matter how much they nerf this hero, it's just going to devour creeps. It's still going to find CS. And the bonus armor you get with Devour just proves to be more than enough for you to sustain in the lane. Especially once you have the Vanguard up. Like, there's just no killing you once the Vanguard's available.
Yeah, it's just really durable with all the armor he's gotten. I still remember the times when Doom had like 0 armor. Now we're at a point where Doom has 5, so it's much easier to play that lane. I do like that Door picks up this nice Kobold Foreman, so it makes it a little bit harder to look for the opportunities to Scorched Earth and run down with a Sticky Bomb and Blast Off. And that should help Ferta just hold that lane a little bit steady. I don't see either side kind of shutting each other out. Maybe you can shut down the Morphling while he still has level 1 attribute, but again, you can't gap close with an Enchantress around, or just doing Enchantress things standing up front there. I do have to say one thing about the Doom though, Mike. It's kind of funny how they buffed early Devour, right? It went from 30 level 1 to 40, and from 85 to 80. So it's like a nerf on higher levels, but most teams go for like a 1-3-1 build nowadays anyway.
Oh, nice blast off here from B-God. Ensure that they cannot continue the chase on Ade. I think speaking of the Doom Devour nerf, I think the thing is, because he got -1 armor on Doom, they may have buffed it just for that sake of like, you know, we took some armor off you, but at least Devour's slightly better as Door is gonna barely survive. It'll be just fine. But that -1 armor, John, I'm not even memeing. It does mean a lot for a hero like Doom in the off lane.
It does.
You can't
even
take
though
me
that's
seriously, but
funny.
it does.
No, it does. I get you. It's just like it's the inverse of what Doom used to be, where +1 armor was amazing. It's 100% increase, an infinite increase over 0.
Well, actually, John, 0 to 1 is not 100% because you can't. 100% of 0 is 0. Yeah,
it's a
theoretically
unknowable math. Yes, theoretically infinite. What's not theoretically infinite is our last lane, of course. We've got Empyrean on that Ancient Apparition, Scourge McDuck on
This
that
could be
Medusa.
infinite, John. This one could be infinite, I'm not going to lie.
We've got Ush on the Underlord as well, and Skyward, of course, and that Bat Rider here. This lane is pretty stable for Medusa, all things considered. Like we talked about what the Underlord can do to Medusa down the line. In the lane, not quite the case. I mean, Ush is still able to farm up, but you can't really get too much early activity here out onto Medusa, so it's a very stable farming lane for both sides. I think the one thing that does allow is Skyward to just get these pulls, get the EXP he wants on that Bat Rider. Empyrean doing a good job of just getting some free damage onto Ush, but he's got the Ring of Health. That means he's just going to be able to regen through, although it's still a little bit uncomfy on the Underlord. His timings for the Vanguard, Crimson Guard into Guardian Groove shouldn't be too bad, though. That's going to be the key for him to really have impact in this game anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. These poor offlaners. Like Vanguard gets nerfed 2 times in a row. They just don't know what to do anymore. Well, hold on a minute. I'd be full HP by this point. The Ush is saying right now with the Ring of Health. What's going on here is top lane, Door, gonna go down. No trade to happen either. Sadly for the Morphling, just not feeling confident enough to waveform in to try and trade. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Empyrean does go down, so Skyward able to secure a kill as Scourge. Not even sure if he hit that Mystic Snake, but onto Skyward that is, but nevertheless, a nice little pick up there for the Bat Rider. They have forced Ush away though on the Underlord, so he's going to have to TP back to the lane. Nevertheless, though, you still find a nice kill on the AA. Only problem being, the Medusa is still having a very good time.
Yeah, it's still a free farm coming out there for Scourge McDuck. MTD getting really aggressive.
A bit too aggressive, I think, but a nice shackle shot going to land on 2. MTD trying to chase Skyward. Blast off is out. Focus fire going. He's got the kill. Oh, MTD. He gets the better end of this. Skyward still going to drop. Very nice rotation from B-God. He lands the sticky bomb at the end. That's a bit of a shame for TiltedBoys. Like, it looked so damn good to start, but MTD just surviving longer than he should have.
That's a little bit surprising. MTD comes in, just focus fires up, loses the shield rune. Durability not quite enough on the Quap to kind of get that going. Ade rotates in as well to kind of snag away that Wisdom rune, so not giving too much to Door. He did die up top solo while being left behind, although is he going to find it? No.
Oh, nice.
TiltedBoys gets both.
Yeah, Door, very, very good. Fast hands. Ade not clicking fast enough. Ida needs to, go back in time, go back to Maple Story, John, get that clicking going. EMP. Gonna be chased down. Skyward, just gonna keep chasing him down. This should be a kill on the AA. Firefly's still got enough time to go, I think. Empyrean, though, still trying to be as annoying as possible. Nice little sidestep. Flame Break, though, is up in a moment, and Volodka, well, he doesn't quite get the kill secures. Top lane, Door's gonna drop again. B-God. That's his 3rd kill of the game here on the techies here, John. He's doing a brilliant job.
He's doing a fantastic job of just having that impact across. And that is what you want to see from the techies. This hero can do a lot in the early game. A little bit of a TP out, 8-minute rune coming out, so MTD will opt for a contest instead of trying to get the bottle top up from the TP. And it will go Volodka's way anyway. Pop just having a little bit better of a time in rune control here.
Chases on from Skyward, but they're trying to punish the Bat Rider now. Lasso is going to connect, however. Sonic Wave to follow. MTD still trying. So he does get Skyward, but he will drop in the end. Does actually go down first. So Skyward very, very happy with that. And MTD getting a little bit greedy with that initiation. Maybe a little bit overly confident as... Well, they do at least find Door again. He will drop, but now B-God's in trouble as Volodka's jumped in. B-God apparently... What was that? Was he putting a minefield sign down?
No. It's off cooldown right now. He just stood still.
Was he taunting or something? Whatever. B-God is alive.
Yeah, you don't question the B-God, Mike. Are they?
He's looking certainly dead here, though there's the Scorched Earth out. He's going to be fine to die, I mean, as Ade does go down. Skyward the one to be fine as he does secure the kill. Skyward's having a very good game as well. The support Batrider, I must admit, John. 4, 3, and 1. Quite a few deaths on him, but he is finding some great kills here.
He's finding great kills and he's giving a lot of space out. Like, you finally give the solo lane to Ush so he can just kind of sit back, soak the XP, clear out the waves. It's starting to lag a little bit behind the Underlord, but again, you're trying to enable mid more than anything else. The QoP tempo is one of the more sensitive timings for the hero early on. So giving good lane out here for Wildcard should pay off. All support just kind of keeping their focus onto that mid. Skyward still scouting around, does run into under the ward, so they do know where the Batrider might be trying to find an angle in. And the side of the cut, just opting to play it safe in mid. They're not going to push their presence too much. They are getting some good stacks out here from B-God. So some good farm to clear out for MTD. Smoke out from TiltedBoys, though, looking to flank down south.
Yeah, that they will. Scourge McDuck's actually kind of low on mana. I say low, he's now half mana because he used Mystic Snake once. Skyward is going to try to find where this Medusa's gone. But you do have Lasso available, so it might not be the most challenging kill here onto the Medusa. Thing is, Scourge McDuck, he is aware that something is a little bit awry here, so he does back his way out successfully. And instead, TiltedBoys will be forced to focus on the bottom tier 1 tower. They'll get away with this just fine as well. There's no defense incoming. So a free tier 1 to go down. There's a bit of a trade happening across the map, but Ade is having a much slower time as now Skyward. It's going to rotate over. B-God, meanwhile, he found Door. The mines of the twin gates, killing Door immediately is Ade. He's going to try to run, pops the Doom. Ice Blast down now from Empyrean, and in fact, it's the Morphling that's in trouble. Fuertes goes down. Sonic Wave out. Ade finally dropping, but now the Quop's blinked in. Oh, it's not worth it.
Boy. It's definitely not. They get a little bit too aggressive there on the side of TiltedBoys trying to punish a solo Doom, but without a rotation cut off up top with the Enchantress early on, you just kind of lack that presence. Gives a lot of information out, so the moment you do go on that Doom, he's already starting to back off. Has the Doom ready, of course, nothing to protect on Ferta, and I'm surprised Ferta didn't manage to get off the attribute shift as he jumped in there. Not even preemptively getting a little bit of strength in. So once the blast is on, it's like, you're just gone. Granted, if the blast landed anyway, probably wouldn't be able to survive on Ferta. Good opening coming out there from the side of the cut. 10-7, 3k lead going their way. MTD starting to really dominate on the Wind Ranger as well. Has that full diffusal blade up and running. So it can make short work of Ferta, take away the mana, ensure that the attribute shift is not an issue even if your blast misses from Empyrean. You've got the full Midas running as well for Ade, so the recovery farm is there for the Doom. The side of TiltedBoys, they need some items to be up. Like, once Ush has some of those ores we talked about, the Crimson Guard, the Guardian Reeves, or the Pipe perhaps down the line, then this game can simplify. Until that point, though, the output coming out from the cut is pretty big.
Well, they're going to try an Ade, but Ade's actually a very tanky boy at the moment. Skyward needing to back off. Ush moved in here with the Fiend's Gate, but now he's in danger. The slows are there. Velocita's going to try and jump in and help out, make sure he does remain alive, but he just committed Blink for this. Luckily with the drums, he is able to walk his way out. So 1 for 1 in the end. Never mind, MTD finds a secondary. The problem is you keep losing the morph. Like, MTD's just killed off Fuerte. That's just a huge death here for TiltedBoys to have to take. Yeah, how did he even die?
Solo, up top to MTD. That's it, just a focus fire shackle out. Finding the angle. Again, diffusal blade up against Morphling. It doesn't feel good for Ferta. It's not easy to just go attribute shift and try to bail out. Very mana reliant early on the Morphling, especially if you don't have your stat items up yet. And you're still a ways off from that timing here for Ferta. Looks like he did want to go for a Linken's up into the Manta. And again, that timing's still a little bit slower than you'd want it to be. Starting to get a little bit of space out, but you definitely need to keep stalling for your morph. All the cores of the cut having a comfy lead over the side of TiltedBoys right now. And Scourge McDuck, he's about to hit that Manta. Once he hits that butterfly timing, oh, it's not going to feel comfy for the morph. Again, the morph core to core up against Dusa feels good once you have Ags. Pre-Ags, not the comfiest time when you can't steal some of those stats away here.
That is the weirdest thing about the matchup, right? Like, because you are building Skadi and you are building a Butterfly on this Medusa these days against the Morphling, right? So it's like the Morphling doesn't necessarily... It feels like it shouldn't be a counter. Just because those two items alone make it very hard for him to fight back. It is a matter of when you have the Ags up as the Morph, you can actually do something. But you've got to get the Ags first. As MTD kills off Door now mid lane once again, so Door is just having an atrocious game at the moment, 1-5-1. Bottom lane in the meantime, Skyd was being chased by Arde, but Arde decides better of it because Fuerte is there. Rotation's incoming. Ice Blast's going to fly out, but he does see it. So he's out. Still a very strong performance so far from the cut. 13-8, 4K advantage their way, and with the way their draft works, they've already gotten a huge, like this 4K lead may as well be a 15K lead with this style of draft. The TiltedBoys, they have so much catching up to do. Skyward on the run again. Sticky Bomb's not going to land. B-God looking for a blast off attempt, but not going to have any vision. So Skyward's going to be just fine. But I think the main concern should be the fact that you know Scourge McDuck's hitting creeps. You know MTD's hitting creeps, and quite frankly, you know Arde is still hitting creeps. Like this three-core duo, especially the Doom Medusa, you can't scale into the late game. They're just way too powerful. As Door needs to close the door in the mid lane, John. He needs to stop going into that area. Scourge McDuck now. Gonna get lassoed up. Stone Gaze is there though, so they can't really follow up on this. Everyone just getting petrified for now as Scourge gonna get so much mana back. Is just not gonna die. As soon as you see three heroes get hit by that Mystic Snake, you know you need to back. There's just no choice.
Oh. Oh, Blast
so
not
right.
gonna connect. Yeah, it's kind of funky. You've got that Crimson Guard timing here on Ush, so I appreciate that he does want to start playing with his team, but you still lack maybe a little bit of follow-through control once the lasso is out. Or it's just damage in general to throw out. Like, sure, you can melt the mana shield down, but if you don't commit something like your full combination and a quap, then Scourge McDuck, when you're clumped up like that, gets 3 bounces on the Mystic Snake, goes back to almost full mana, and it's just fine. It's starting to build into the stats a lot faster here as well. Already has a Manta +1 Ultimate Orb. Scotty not too far off, so it can be a lot more durable on the Dusa. And it starts to become really hard to try to suppress that. Ferte still working onto his own Manta, and then the Ags afterwards. That's going to be his timing. The Ags, more than anything else, should enable that core-to-core to work in Morphling's favor. But it'll take some more farm. As side of the cut will smoke out here. Lincoln's ready to go. Well, being built up by MTD, but he does have more stats with the Ultimate Orb. So more damage for the One Ranger here.
Okay, this death for Door is actually going to make sense. He is tanking the gank here for his Morphlings. That's actually a good death here from Door. So to clear that up, Jonathan, in case people think that was a bad death, it was not.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing. You buy space out for the morph. You break the smoke. You're buying time for the team. And that is really what you need right now to kind of catch up. Like Volodka, he's gonna go into the Kaya Sanch, so a little bit hard to pin down. HP. Ags is gonna be his big timing as well. For good old Ush, he is working still onto that pipe into a Rod of Atos. So not going for an early Guardian Greaves here. Just looking for more auras for the team. Should be able to get that timing. It's not too far off. Maybe just about 2,000 more gold. And you've got that full pipe with the Crimson Guard. And perhaps that's the point where the damage output of the cut does get cut down. Like we did talk about this, the Underlord is a pretty good foil to Dusa and Wind Ranger, as they are physical out, but you just don't enjoy playing physical cores up against this hero. Haven't felt that yet, but you'll reach that point
eventually. I mean, I say that. The thing is, Scourge McDuck almost has his Skadi up now. So even if you have that point
Gate
where
as
you...
well. Oh,
Oh. Okie
that is
Well, I mean, yeah.
strange.
Strange
Ade was
gate.
just hiding in. He was hiding right next to the gate. They didn't bother trying to throw a random pit. He just TP's out. Like, easiest escape. That's a
Okay.
4-man bait.
Okay, very nice. That's what I mean, though. Like, Tilted Boys, while you might feel like you're strong right now with the Crimson Guard, which you are, it's the timing. The Deuce is just a bit too quick, I think. Like, Scourge is 200 gold away from the full Skadi up now. Probably going to mean that your Morphling cannot get too involved in this next fight, the Skyward. But he's going to fight Empyrean. Not a bad start, though. Empyrean literally just 4 staffs away. Nothing else to it, apparently.
They can't keep going. When they show up on Ade, they know the Doom threat's there. They know that everyone's there to back up. Blast ready to go in Empyrean. So the skirmishing just not quite working out. The mid will fall here to Scourge McDuck as well. But MTD, full Lincoln's up on MTD as well. So lassos are a little bit harder to pull off. And the 7k lead still holding for the cut. Again, this isn't the worst position for the side of Tilted Boys, but it's certainly not an easy one.
Bottom, Skyward's going to jump in on B-God, but he does not have Lasso to play with. B-God, he's dropping, but now Ade shows up. B-God actually had the Guardian Greaves the whole time as well, so he probably was just going to survive through it. Skyward, I don't think he quite realized the Greaves were up. And, well, that's a bit of a tough death here for Skyward. It's jumping in, trying to go for some kind of techie skill, just not even able to find that.
Kind of boils down from that engagement near the jungle, right? Going for that lasso and Empyrean, not finding the kill. Getting this attempt onto B-God again, not finding the kill. It moves on to supports as well. And they'll just be able to clear out the bot off the back of that. Invade the triangle a little bit. Ferte not wanting to be in any position to fight right now. Forced to just back off, and the cut just takes simple control on the map. Like, there's not too much fight in Tilted Boys. They understand that this isn't their timing, but you are giving a lot of space out waiting for that timing.
I mean, that you are. T2 tower now, bottom lane is under siege. Looks like there's going to be no defense coming in from Tilted Boys. Just going to let this one go, as they still need a lot more farm to really feel like they can fight back. Top lane, though, is not going to be allowed to be pushed in because Doom was out. Ade catching the Queen of Pain. There's going to be another death for Volodka. Ade's not made his life very easy this game already. And Tilted Boys, they are being given nothing. Like, they lose a T2 bottom tower, they can't even find a top tier one. It's just not allowed.
Yeah. No trades coming out. The best you can get is just farm for Ferte, but even then, he's still not able to really catch up or reduce his farm rate. Manta up does provide Ferte a lot more, at the very least. Lincoln's again makes it harder to jump him, as he does manage to waveform away. But he can run. He can't really fight yet. That's your big issue. Yeah, you're dodging out, but again, the map space you're losing is significant. As long as the cut don't bleed out any heroes to a freebie kill, then you're pretty fine with doing this.
Mid lane, there is going to be a big group up. Oh, never mind that, because top lane, Skyward again going to drop. Now, Tilted Boys, they are grouped up mid. Like, they could run down bottom. They've drawn a line towards that area. I do believe they might think that the area is empty, though. And it is not, and Scourge is going to reveal that here as the Medusa. That's certainly a hero they cannot really afford to deal with, I don't think. That they are looking to still move their way down. Give it a crack, perhaps. It doesn't make it much easier, though, that he's got the Greater Healing Lotus. That's an easy 900 mana that he can just bring up out of nowhere. And in the end, they aren't really going to make a quick jump in, so Tilted Boys, sadly, are going to have to retreat once again, and now the counter smoke is here. So if you're the cut, you don't need to hesitate to smoke. You can just rush in knowing exactly where they are.
Oh, they smoked under vision this time as well from Tilted Boys.
Ouch. Well, they're going to try and make their way down. The cut seems to be well and truly happy to just stand around and wait. TiltedBoys are going for the long wraparound. Perhaps assuming that the cut might already be starting Roshan, but the cut are waiting on the high ground now of the Twin Gates. Minefield side being placed by B-God, though he does not have the Ags up. He's just placing it down for the lols. So I suppose it makes the mines invulnerable, so you can't go to the Twin Gates at the moment. It's pretty annoying.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they might just start Roshan. Like, if they don't want to go for the fight, it's like, fine, we'll just take Rosh.
Yeah, I mean, their smoke breaks and they don't bother initiating. They don't have a great jump in here to start these fights from the side of TiltedBoys, outside of maybe a Blink Lasso from Skyward. Even then, it's just risky into 5. And Roche just falls pretty damn quick with the output on MTD and Scourge McDuck. That objective is just gone. They've
It certainly is.
security for the high ground if they want to take that next.
Jump in, Arde. He's already found Skyward. The Batrider caught out here in mid lane. Trying to escape, trying to retreat, is not going to make it. So he'll go back to the tier 2 tower. He'll get 2 hits in before he dies. Did a total of like 5 damage, but, you know, better than nothing. Scourge?
Yeah, it's something.
And Scourge is a lone top lane. Even then, I do believe they wouldn't be able to kill him once.
No. Like one time just feels like a tall order when you don't have your Morphling. You really need Ferta to kind of try to reel in that matchup, and it's just not quite there yet. So with the security of Aegis, Scourge McDuck should feel confident enough to just go for the tier 2s, maybe even the high ground. Again, we're just not seeing any play from TiltedBoys at all. Just doesn't feel like there's anything they can do. Just avoid as much as they can. Hope that the Morphling carries through for them once the Ags is up. And just not bleed out.
There goes the tier 2 top tower. Nice and easy for the cut. 19-8. Just no contest at the moment here between these two teams as they are looking to go high ground. Firestorm going to slow things down just a little bit here from Osh. Lincoln Sphere placed on Scourge to make life even more challenging here for TiltedBoys. And the worst part is you don't really have the greatest ways of breaking the Lincolns either. Like, it's a little bit annoying here to just deal with the Lincolns being placed on Scourge. As the cart, they can just keep going. There's no reason for them to retreat. Literally zero. Skyward is setting up from the back though. Shackle out on door, not going to land on anything. It's like Skyward is going to try and creep skip to try and avoid this push happening any longer. And he will go for it. Immediately just starts running towards the west of the map, realizing they are probably chasing him down. But Skyward's done a great job. He's protected his top racks. It's not going to be completely taken. Even if he died, it probably would have been worth it. But it seems like he is barely going to make his way out of there.
Yeah, bails out and does stall for more time. Again, this is very important for the side of the TiltedBoys. Do believe that's the Ags flying out on Ferta now. So that's one timing down on your chorus. That should help you take some of these engagements. Turn into Wind Ranger or the Medusa is going to be big in these fights. So this should be the turning point, or the start of the turning point. If they find the angles here on TiltedBoys, gives them some play to come out here. On the side of the cut, and they still have this advantage. 9k up. They've smoked up on Ade and B-God. Doom is still at the ready. Just need to find someone to catch out here. B-God's courier does get sniped off. The Enchantress with the trolls should clear out the top tier 1, and does. I'm finding a little bit during this downtime, but on the side of the cut, there is a little bit of pressure to do something with the Aegis. It is only less than 2 minutes left, so gonna be a little bit uncomfy if they try to high ground now with a lot of towers falling for TiltedBoys. They're doing a great job of playing into this Aegis.
Well, there goes Ade. Door's been jumped immediately. He will be able to TP out. They don't want to commit the Doom here onto the Ench. Rather just save it, because you are going to try for high ground again while the Aegis is still going. So he'll move up here, Scourge McDuck. He'll get to work. Thing is, he's a little bit low on mana, but one good Mystic Snake will do the trick. And again, he does still have the greater healing lotus, so he has 900 mana just sitting in the bag at the moment if he needs it. But it seems like they're not willing to risk this game too much. They're going to retreat. They'll play it safe. Let the Aegis expire calmly. And just wait for the next team fight. If you get one more good team fight here in the cut, you probably could just move high ground with that Aegis. There's 2 buybacks available on Tilted Boys at the moment. One being Ush and the other one being Door. So they don't really feel like the best buybacks to have at the moment either. So one good team fight, and that'll mean high ground is open for the cut.
Just need to find an opportunity. And Tilted Boys not giving them any opportunity at all. Again, doing a great job of just stalling out, of buying space. Fairte just trying to go for a Shadow Blade to maybe sneak around. You've got the Ags and Volodka. Again, this should be the point where you feel a little bit more confident in your draft here for Tilted Boys, but they show a lot of respect towards the side of the cut. And cut for their part. I mean, it's just a slow shove in. Send the Deuce Illusions out, control the lanes. Only lane that you have kind of shoved out right now for Tilted Boys is up top. You lose your Tormentor as well, so Empyrean gets a free shard. That Ice Blast with Cold Feet is pretty damn annoying, all things considered. That could set up for some nice fights, or could serve as a really good follow-through from, say, a good jump in here from Ade. So, you're just building up advantages on the side of the cut. Now you're at the point where Ade, Octarine up, working onto the Yags. Much easier to get that jump in, not going to care for the Lincolns anymore. Smoke out from Tilted Boys, though.
Mines are going to give that away, however. Like, they know Fuerte just kind of jumped in. MTD maybe did not get the memo, but he's just running the old-fashioned way. Lincoln's broken. Can they actually hold down MTD? That's going to be a huge Ice Blast! Oh, that is a big one. It may not matter, though. MTD's already gone. B-God, somehow alive, will finally go down. Ash is going to move in. Fuerte does at least pick up another. We'll take down Empyrean. They lost Volodka in the meantime. But Fuerte is hitting quite hard at the moment, so Ade does not want to deal with him. Still Scourge McDuck having to deal with him now because the jump is there from Skyward, but the buybacks are incoming here. Empyrean realizing they need help. He's going to move into the outpost. Ade in the meantime, he is going to go down. Now Fuerte still moving in. Just burst down the AA. Empyrean is gone. But Scourge is the one that they cannot deal with. They will have to leave the Medusa be, but I think it's a very good team fight for Tilted Boys.
It's a big win for the side of Tilted Boys, forcing out a buyback, getting pretty much a 5-man wipe here, going their way. And the output right now on Fuerte is pretty damn high. He's managed to ride into that point where this Morphling is a threat. You do get a good Ice Blast out from Empyrean, but the follow-up damage just isn't there with the auras coming out. Just a lot harder to play that burst with the Crimson Guard. Skyward.
And B-God will happily take that kill for himself. Skyward had really nowhere to go.
Yep.
I mean, Tilted Boys, they're showing signs of life.
They are. Again, they hit this timing now. Although, Fuerte.
Yeah, Fuerte's... Oh, he's alive. He's actually juked out the power shot. Fiend's Gate there as well, just to allow him to come back safely. Very close call, though, but the Shadow Blade does save the day for them all. It's one thing MTD will need to remember about is the need for a dust now on the Wind Ranger if you are going to go for the solo pickoffs. But my God, did he do a lot of damage. I mean, one Shackle Focus Fire, basically he was 2 hits away from dying.
Yeah, that's a lot of output. And that's MTD without any sort of steroid, no crit on hand. It's just pure right-click damage with a Focus Fire up and running. And it's still more than enough to be a massive threat onto Fuerte if he's not careful. So we'll see if he does manage to catch out Fuerte at some point. MTD is just opting for a full Daedalus now. So wanting to just look for that instantaneous kind of physical burst coming out here. The cut. Roshan's about to spawn half a minute. That's going to be in a daytime spawn down south as well. They can just gun for it if they so wish. Get that safety net for themselves going out here. You've got the full Silver Edge up and running as well for Scourge McDuck. So now you have a way of breaking off that Atrophy aura at the least. So should be able to maybe find yourself an easier time in these fights without that minus damage here.
There's a 4-man smoke. Seems like they're going to try and go again here, Tilted Boys. Maybe feeling a little bit more confident after that last team fight. And of course, Roshan is now available, so the timing is perfect here from the Dire. The Cut are already rushing towards the pit as well, so they may not be expecting this quick smoke here from Tilted Boys, but the problem is that bot wave has been forced in. So they scan out the Roshan pit, but they've got too many things to address at the moment. Too many waves forced in does make it pretty obvious that the smoke is happening. And eventually they just retreat. They won't go for the Roshan fight. Skyward's going to have a look around to see if he can steal this. He will get some vision. Skyward!
Ooh.
Oh, he's got the Aegis! Oh, Skyward, what a jump! I mean, it's not going to matter too much. He does end up going down. But that is a nice jump. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Very fast fingers. Gets the cheese and the Aegis. So they've got the cheese to hand over to someone else. Cheese onto Verte would feel pretty damn big in the middle of these fights. And that does complicate the matters for the high ground here for the Cut without that secondary life up and running. But they're still going to just shove in as best as they can. And they've got to find something. You don't want to drag this game too long. The QoP gets more and more annoying as the levels go up. Level 20, level 25 starts to feel pretty oppressive. So off they go, forcing into tier 3.
Back off for now. The glyph was forced out. Let's take the wisdom runes instead. Retreat and come back a little bit later. I say later, I mean, you know, probably in 5 seconds or so when the creep wave's back. The Tilted Boys, they are still doing a great job of holding out. Like, considering now the Aegis is down, they can feel a little bit more confident in their ability to be able to take a team fight. Smoke is there. Tilted Boys, they are going to try for this one outside of their base. Scourge is going to show himself mid lane. They will wrap around through the Dire triangle, and Scourge, he's the closest target. Skyward's going to jump in there looking for a support. He'll find B-God. Shackle, though, going to land onto the Bat Rider, so B-God is actually running his way out somehow with the disarm. He is going to be fine. Instead, Empyrean's the one to go down first. Ash does get himself out with a nice TP, but now the Doom's out on the Morphling. Perfect initiation from Ade. Fiend's Gate is there from Ash, but it's not going to matter anymore. It's too late. 2 down. You do get 2 on the side of Tilted Boys, but they were both supports dropping. It's not that big of a deal. Skyward trying to run, but MTD, he does try to shackle. It won't latch. The chase is continuing, though. Skyward still trying to run, is going to make it out. He's now the mid-tier 3 tower, under siege once again. This time they will get it. Ash is going to try his best to slow this down with the Crimson Guard, but it can only help so much.
Yeah. And they've got the fortified to stall. I'm a little bit surprised Verte didn't manage to morph into anyone. Just changed control in the middle, didn't want to morph early, lasso out.
Yeah, nice grab. They've got the Wind Ranger. MTD dropping a little bit lower. 4-star away is there, but with the Shadow Strike, it's making it rather hard for him to survive. Stone Gaze is there to help MTD retreat, but he's going to go down.
Ooh.
Yeah. The scream coming up from one of the Shadow Strikes. I don't know who that was on, but regardless, he does get caught.
Yeah. Might have been able to bail out if they didn't clump up so hard. Decent stall coming out from Tilted Boys. They lose some, they lose a melee racks mid. Not the biggest losses, you know. They hang into their other racks. Could have been a lot worse if they didn't manage to get that chip away damage on that Wind Ranger. So you get Verte respawning back up. The Morphling is back in the game. Still trying to work onto the Scotty, but you have to be careful here as Verte. If you do get doomed up, man, I mean, that Morphling's just a sitting duck. Linken's alone not quite enough with how the cut are playing and finding these angles. Ade being very on point to kind of see that Linken's pop first and kind of run from there. 15k lead still standing for the cut. We are at a 83% chance to win according to Dota Plus now for the side of the cut. And Tilted Boys, again, they've stalled out for so long. They've managed to hit these item timings. It hasn't felt the best afterwards, though. It does feel like maybe an initiation issue where you're really reliant on Skyward to try to find a lasso to open up these engagements for you. Your follow-up control isn't amazing. You've got Pit of Malice with nothing else to follow through as well to help hold him in that pit. So the side of the Cut are just kind of free to run around. Like, we've seen this multiple times where both B-God and Empyrean, they manage to barely escape with their lives. They still get their spell usage off, and in the case of B-God, just constantly getting his follow-up stuns as well with a blast off in the mines. It's not easy for the side of TiltedBoys in comparison. Like, with an Enchantress support, you don't have that level of control. With a Batrider, you're very single target focused as well. So it does make trying to come into these fights a little bit more awkward. I'm very reliant on, say, a good lasso or for finding the back lines and getting a good morph target off.
Oh, TiltedBoys, they're not out of this yet, but it's a pretty tough game to come back from.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, only one rack's down to be absolutely fair. It's more so the drafts and how they work is what I think is causing the issue here for TiltedBoys.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They will lose a top T2 tower here, the Cut. It's the creep wave just getting it done themselves. The Cut are looking for a pick-off so they can go high ground again, but it's just not showing up for them. The only person that was really showing on the map there for a moment was Fuerte, but he has TP'd back towards his base now. That top wave does need to be addressed, so it seems like Ade will slowly make his way over on the Doom. Actually just cut the creep wave and make sure they can keep the push going, but now TiltedBoys, they are going to group up as 5 once again. Running down to the mid lane, Lasso has caught out Scourge McDuck. He's a huge target. He got the Stone Gaze in time, but he's out of mana. That is a huge start now for TiltedBoys. The best start to the team fight they've had. The Cut are still going for the fight nonetheless, though. B-God jumping in, disarming everyone. But how do you take the fight without Scourge? B-God is down. Ade is still trying here with MTD, but they can't even find one. Seems like Ade is going to drop here. 3 down now for the Cut. I'm not sure why they continue to take the fight, but they do.
Yeah, they force it out and they get punished severely by the side of TiltedBoys. Again, they find that opening. Just a one-man lasso onto the biggest target you could ask for, and that's all you need. Scourge McDuck playing really far forward without the rest of his team, not even close by to try to find some punishment. They need to play as a unit here on the side of the Cut. They're trying to work the map. There was pressure to fix top lane for sure, but with this opening, with a morphling up, this mid push doesn't take too long here.
It certainly doesn't. TiltedBoys suddenly in a position to push in the mid racks. Not something I was expecting just a minute ago. But there you go. There's one down. We're on to a second now. The tier 3 bottom tower under siege. This is all off the back of one good initiation on Scourge. And he's not buying back either. He does not want to commit it. They will lose 2 lanes of barracks. And TiltedBoys will happily retreat now, knowing they have the map advantage.
That is massive. That just, again, Scourge McDuck playing forward without his team. I mean, he's just standing in mid, farming out. No one there to back him up, and I don't know. That's just a pretty big mistake from the Cut. They'll smoke out now. Roshan in a minute. They need to find themselves an advantage to take control of that Rosh and hope that they can get the Aegis this time around, because it's getting a lot harder with the core-to-core matchup online. If Ade doesn't jump in, get that Doom on the Morph, then these fights are next to impossible to win out on.
I mean, all they've got to do is make sure Scourge doesn't get caught like that by himself. You know, as long as that happens, they should be just fine. TiltedBoys, they'll go for the Tormentor now. Skyward will take the shards for himself. Now an immediate smoke up as well. Lines being drawn right towards the twin gates at the bottom where the Cut are currently hanging out. Roshan is up in 10 seconds. B-God may get caught immediately. Pit of Malice is there into the lasso, and that's going to be a tech. He's basically just dead. Though B-God surviving a little bit longer, but finally goes down. Meanwhile, Scourge McDuck trying to find himself a target. They have got at least Door down on the edge. As now the Doom is out catching the Morphling. So it seems like they've doomed themselves as well, though. The Doom is muted at the moment, but the Morphling the much more important target. They've slowed him up with the Skadi, and eventually Ferte is going to drop, but the buybacks are incoming. They'll keep the fight going. A Scourge now completely out of mana, in trouble again, needs some help, but the help is not incoming. Scourge is down. It does cost some buybacks to make that happen, but now Roshan is going to be open for Tilted Boys.
Yeah, again, just hesitation coming out there from Ade to get that Doom off. Doom is right when the Lotus is on, and that reflected the AoE Doom, just making it so hard for the rest of the cut to finalize that kill onto Ferte. Buys him enough time to start to drop the other heroes low. And they get a free Roshan off the back of it. They get the Ags up now and Door. Like, you've got a free spoink on your enchanters with so many issues in the middle of these fights. Inside of the cut, that could spell the end for them if they're not careful in this re-engage. In a minute until the deuce is up, you would not want to buy back at this point with the respawn not being that far off. At the side of the Tilted Boys, say no, they could try to end it right here, right now. No Doom as well, though on the respawn you will have that spell at the very least. But it's getting a lot harder to find these openings, and on Tilted Boys, they've managed to reel this game back in. Oh, they've got the advantage clearly, even though it's not in gold, but certainly in map control and how easy it is to pull off these fights now with their itemization. And Cut lagging behind.
Crazy game here. Dota Plus sitting at 54% win chance now for Tilted Boys. Just not the twist in this game that we were quite expecting to see, but props to the boys. They have made themselves look like a real contender now in the series. You are at the stage with the Medusa just not providing enough anymore, it seems. Fuerte, that is a pretty dangerous situation, or rather position he's in, but not going to get punished here by anyone. Does have the Aegis up anyway, so I suppose there would have been plenty of time for his team to catch up with him. Tilted Boys are going to go through the top lane. Final lane of Barracks standing for the cut after that disastrous mid-team fight. Not the easiest to push into the high ground here against Scourge McDuck's Medusa, but they will get started. Skyward, he's already got the lasso. He found the Medusa. Scourge immediately hexed up, but he is alive as now a huge Gale Force coming in from our Wind Ranger. MTD, they'll move into the quad. That is Volk down, but he's going to buy back here. So they will move on to Ash. The Underlord also going down, but also has buyback. He'll commit it. There's your Fiend's Gate coming out. Verite's still going. Has found Scourge McDuck, but the Medusa is able to force into the high ground. Tilted Boys, the buyback's not going to amount to much. Forced to retreat once again, and that's going to open up the game now for the cut.
They get to stall out for a little bit more time. I don't think that's enough for them to try to re-push these lanes just yet. You are still dealing with the 5-man. You've still got the Aegis up and running for Feta for 2 minutes. So it's going to be a little bit longer until you're comfy and trying to retake some map control here. You don't have Doom up as well for a little bit longer. There's a few openings here for the side of Tilted Boys if they manage to time this next fight right. And the cut have to be really cautious with Scourge McDuck up front. Heck, you might be at the point where you need MTD to be up there to double Lincoln's up Scourge, just to make sure that there's like a way to block Skyward. If that lasso goes off, it's a really dicey circumstance for Scourge. Granted, he's still hard to pick off, but he can't really feel good when he's already half or maybe a quarter mana by the time the fight really starts to break out with the reinforcements coming in. Just not the best of times for the Deuce there.
Certainly is not. Tilted Boys. Gonna take some time now to maybe reset. The state of the game is just too close to really count here between these two. It's literally 50-50 right now on Dota Plus. So it kind of goes to show you how close the game's really become. As it seems like the cut are going to start prepping the Radiant base with a bunch of mines here from B-God. That's kind of the game plan. It's like, let's wait for Tilted Boys to move up again. and let's just have a billion mines ready to go. Sometimes, if you jump in a little bit too aggressively, you can just blow yourself up. Especially if you're like this Volodka Queen of Pain. You might blink in for a big sonic wave and find yourself between 4 mines if you're not too careful. There's going to be a smoke out from the cut now. 4-man smoke coming out right behind Scourge, who just uses his silver edge. He'll be looking to be the bait for the team, I believe. TiltedBoys, they are going to retreat. There is now a full MKB up on your Morphling, so Fuerte's even hitting even harder now. Mind you, there's no butterfly available on the Medusa anyway. So it's not really evasion that you're worried about here, but perhaps against the Wind Ranger, the MKB is still going to have a pretty nice effect here against MTD. Still value there for Fuerte. The smoke's not going to amount to anything but a Wisdom Rune being picked up here from B-God. And it seems like they just have to address their lanes again, because the bottom lane just gets forced in. The smoke does not work out. And TiltedBoys, they are still in a position where they can kind of keep them just in the base. The cut again are going to try and venture out here in the mid lane. But TiltedBoys, they don't seem like they're really interested in forcing a fight outside of their own base now. Well, the cut, they're still going. They're going through mid.
They can equalize at least one lane, so that's one lane less to worry about just shoving in, I suppose. Maybe even try to gun for the bot slowly but surely with the illusions here. Of course, you do have really good high ground defense coming out now with that Firestorm coming out. You can just burn through the creep waves and prevent any cheeky plays. DD up and running MTD. Would love to use that, but they just don't have that high ground vision. No forward wards. Sentries are in place. Try to risk it though.
Yeah, they're going to try. Scourge will move in. Lincolns will be broken immediately here from Fuerte. Scourge McDuck, he's going to try for tier 4 towers, but no, never mind. He'll go back down towards the bot lane and see if he can secure Megas. Hesitation from TiltedBoys because Volodka's not even there right now. Volodka's pushing out the bottom wave.
Their tier 4s have a huge creep wave here.
The tier 4s of the Radiant are under siege. That is correct. But they don't seem too concerned about that because they're 1 barracks away from getting Megas. They just need the melee barracks to the top lane. Problem is, TiltedBoys, they are now setting up for that fight. You still don't have Volodka there though. I don't know if you necessarily want to force a fight without your Queen of Pain. They might try. Scourge will reveal himself. Lasso is out there. Caught Arne with that, but the Doom is a very, very tanky boy, so he's going to be just fine. Volodka now has rejoined his team. Ush going to be in trouble. Doom is out. They have at least shut down the Underlord as now he's caught out and it looks like he's going to die back. So Ush is down for 2 minutes. Scourge McDuck still going. Move on to the Queen of Pain. No, he wants the Morphling. Fuerte jumping in very deep now. Gonna try and survive, but a 3-man stun. Arne locking them down to the T4 towers. And B-God jumps in with a blast off. Fuerte's in trouble. Still dropping here on the Morph. Trying to escape Scourge McDuck. He will waveform away, but the Megas are incoming.
Okay. The high ground siege still goes. Scourge McDuck, not scared. Imperium, he won't have that Ice Blast up and running soon. So if you do commit, you won't have that save here even without the Doom. 1 tier 4 down, 1 more to go. Scourge McDuck just applying that pressure.
Scourge, Hex is out. Medusa half its mana now gone, but she's going to continue fighting back as Dora has been caught on the edge. Dora able to force staff away. Scourge dropping extremely low now, is completely out of mana. No way to survive. He is down, but he's got buyback. Immediately committed. Looking to come back into this team fight ASAP. They've got a full base open. The Ancient exposed. Volodka has to blink away. In comes Scourge again. He can't afford to die. He'll just go after the Ancient though. That's the focus right now. It's TiltedBoys. They can't really fight back. They are trying to find a way, but Arne's in. He's cleared out the Morphling. Fuerte's down and GG is called. The cut have done it. They almost throw that game really...